Good evening. This is a call to order for the regular Bridgeport Board of Education meeting. Today is February 9th, and it is 6:36. Can you all rise for the pledge?
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Estremera Jimenez, can you take roll call?
Sure. Mr. Albert Benahan,
He's present. You have to put the mics on.
okay. Mr. Woodson. Okay. Ms. Perez in person, Mr. Joe Sokolovic in
Present.
person. Perfect. Ms. Burks Jennings, I saw online. Virtual. Miss, thank you. Mr. Daniels. Okay. I am virtual. Mr. Traber, I see in person.
Here.
And Mr. Medina, see present.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to start with our student representative reports. We'll start with the students we have in person. So you can go ahead and click your microphone to begin.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shanoy Fraser, and I'm a senior at Warren Harding High School. Tonight, I will describe the activities that my school has participated in for January and upcoming events for February. Firstly, to commemorate the new year, Harding Student Council hosted a winter pep rally on January 8, 2026. Students were engaged in activities such as a balloon pop race and turning teachers into snowmen. The pep rally highlighted our winter sports teams, especially the girls and boys basketball teams and the track teams for their excellent performances throughout the season. Moreover, Harding's debate team took on 70 teams at this CDA tournament on January 10th. The team had only 60 minutes to prep and no internet access. Despite this, these students delivered powerhouse performances on various global issues that society faces now. On January 13th, students who were taking UConn Introduction to Allied Health completed a shadow experience at St. Vincent's Hospital. Students were exposed to the clinical routines of various healthcare professionals, patients' interactions, daily workflows, and the realities of having a medical career. The purpose of this experience was to help these students to familiarize themselves with the positive and negative aspects of working in such a setting. Following this, a blood drive was held on January 15th and hosted by students of the Medical Career Magnet in collaboration with the American Red Cross. Students and staff were educated about the importance of being a blood donor and were encouraged to give blood if they could. Overall, 15 pints of blood were collected. To mark the end of semester 1, final examinations were held on January 21st and 22nd, then any required makeup assignments were administered on January 23rd. Officially, Semester 2 began on January 28 due to the winter storms, and students transitioned into their new classes. Additionally, Harding CNA students commenced their clinical rotations at Lord Chamberlain's Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. Their clinical rotations, So they started these clinical rotations on February 2nd and 3rd. Throughout these rotations, students will gain hands-on experience to prepare them for life outside of the classroom and their state license exam in April. Furthermore, Harding's Health Occupation Students of America, HOSA, celebrated National Red Day on February 6th throughout the entire school. This day brings awareness to heart diseases, especially in women, because it's the #1 cause of death in females. Additionally, February is Cardiovascular Awareness Month, and its sentiments are represented by red. Lastly, Harding Student Council is planning a Black History Month Spirit Week that will highlight different aspects of Black culture and educate students about this. Also, there will be an art expo in which students will explore the Black experience through their individual art styles. Their pieces will be displayed on February 23rd. Thank you.
Thank you.
See, that works well. All right. Good evening, members of the Board of Education and Interim Superintendent Dr. Royce and everyone in attendance. My name is Christian Bika and I am a 12th grader at the Magnet program in Central High School. And for news on my school, recently we held a pep rally so that we can recognize our scholar athletes and celebrate school spirit as we transitioned into the second semester. For this month, we are also currently celebrating Black History Month, and we have daily student-led morning announcements, which are also led alongside our principal, Dr. Graff. And what these are for are highlights of influential figures in Black history. The month will conclude with a large school-wide assembly featuring guest speakers, performers, and a fashion show that we invite the interested members of the board to. Central High School has also partnered with the American Red Cross to host our second successful blood drive of the school year, and we held this on February 5th in collaboration with NHS, HOSA, and Interact supporting as well. And for my position as co-president of Interact Club, we're currently collecting non-perishable food items to donate to the Bridgeport Rescue Mission. Regarding winter sports, they're also in full swing. Several indoor track athletes have qualified for the state meets, and our boys basketball team has already qualified for the state playoffs. And our cheerleaders recently competed in the FCIAC competition and will complete a SEAC later this month. Additionally, we are preparing for spring PSAT and SAT testing, completing winter growth assessments, encouraging students to use Reading Plus to improve literacy, and beginning scheduling for the 2026-2027 school year with continued expansion of the Bridgeport Public Schools career pathways. We're also planning a health fair next month and recently hosted a Save a Life tour presentation, which is centered around safe driving for our seniors. And for upcoming events, I know that in March, Central looks forward to celebrating Women's History Month. And for this, we also plan to have a large-scale presentation with guest speakers and a big celebration. Thank you for the opportunity to share these updates.
We have one more in person and we'll go online.
Good afternoon, board members. My name is Anuj. I am the Fairchild Wheeler Biotech student rep for 11th grade. So on January 15th, we had our STEAM Expo, and that included capstone projects and science fair. Then we have a couple people that won science fair at school and that are going to go on to the district science fair. We have some fundraisers for supporting our senior class. We have one on February 26th and March 26th. Then we have Biotech has completed the Magnet Schools of America recertification, and we were updated that we again have been recognized as a Magnet School of Distinction for 2026. Then on January 30th, we had a blood drive where in total 25 pints of blood was collected. And on February 25th, we are going to have a Black History Month celebration, and daily announcements highlight Black historical figures. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sokolovic?
Yeah, you mentioned fundraisers on February 26th and March 26th. Are there any locations set for those?
Yes, the February 26th one is at Buffalo Wild Wings in Milford Mall. It's from 5 to 10 p.m. in store only. And then the March 26th one is at Panera Bread in Shelton. It's from 4 to 8 p.m. in store. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll switch online. I see Geronimo Restrepo Munoz.
Good evening, everyone. I'm back. I'm John Restrepo. I'm a senior representative for Fairchild Wheeler IT, and we had several IT students receive first place in the district science fair. For the 10th grade, we had Michaela, Brandon, and Alan, and for the 11th grade, we had Aiden, who was also first place winner with Michaela a year ago. In the National Center for Women in Technology Aspirations in Computing Award was for Ali, Treasure, and Tafuni, with an honorable mention to Anjumanara and Iada. Infotech has been named Magnet Schools of Excellence by Magnet Schools of America for 2026. And IT has also launched a swag store where students and parents were able to purchase IT-themed clothing. Seniors also had the opportunity to purchase Fairchild Wheeler senior-themed clothing as well. With Youthful Impact, we will launch the Career Launchpad program beginning on February 17, where students will be able to gain tech skills, Google Career certificates, and receive job coaching and internship support. With the start of the new semester, we introduced a new generative AI AWS cloud practitioner course through a partnership with Southern Connecticut State University and the workplace. With this course, students will be able to learn about the science and technology behind this growing field. This is Oya from IT. Thank you.
Thank you. And I see Deborah Graciano Braga Silva.
Yes. Good evening. I'm representing Bridgeport Military Academy. So about the Navy JROTC program, on January 13th, the Navy JROTC completed its Area Manager Inspections, AMI. The students, staff, and the area manager were pleased to have several board education members, the superintendent, and member of his executive cabinet in attendance. Fundraising. On January 15th, the Navy program hosted an inflatable obstacle course during period 4 and after school to support fundraising efforts for the annual military Navy ball. Uniform distribution. Last week and continuing through this week, cadets began receiving their second set of Navy Type 3 uniforms. A third set is expected by the end of the month. Once distributed is completed, students will be fully outfitted in Navy uniform attire, except sneakers, 5 days a week, reducing the financial burden of families. Academic progress, Reading Plus, benchmark 2 completed rate was 99%. Data shows strong academic growth, 10% decrease in students reading 5 or more grades level below, 3% increase students reading above grade level, and 5% increase in students reading on grade level. And about Khan Academy, students continue to make progress towards their target units in preparing for the April PSAT SAT administration. 9th and 10th graders placed second nationally in this year's Can-a-thon. Magnetic Schools of America recognition. BMA submitted an application for national recognition and was awarded School of Distinction by Magnet School of America. So student activities and events. January 16th, band students under the direction of Mr. Volpe held an after-school concert. On February 3rd, BMA held its monthly company competitions during advisory. Charlie Company, comprised of juniors and seniors in the Navy program, currently leads the standing. February 5th, students in health class earned their first aid and CPR certifications. And last, upcoming events on Wednesday, February 11th, Sweetheart Deliveries, February 12th and 16th, Winter Break, students return Tuesday, February 17th. Thursday, February 19th, Navy Leadership Change of Command Ceremony. Friday, February 27th, February company competition, Stefano. And Friday, February 27th, Valentine's Day. That's all.
Thank you. Congratulations to both Fairchild and BMA on those distinctions. Thank you to the students for joining us today. The next item is public comment. We don't have anybody signed up, right? There's no one signed up for public comment today. So we'll move on to the approval of the meeting minutes from the special meeting, January 29th, 2026. Is there a motion to approve those? Moved by Mr. Benahan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Medina. Is there any discussion on those? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, that passes. Next, we have the chairperson's report. I don't have any further updates from the state at this moment. I did reach, just so the board knows, I did forward them or an email that we will begin our search committee. I invited them to participate with us. So I'm waiting to hear back from the commissioner's office on that. Sorry, I'm battling a cold. As far as other updates, I met with Dr. Avery today and we discussed updating, and Danielle discussed updating our website on the policy section to clean it up a bit. That was one of the areas that the state was concerned about. It's very hard and difficult to find current policies or just in general, the organization of it. So I know Dr. Avery and his team they're going to be working on that in the next couple weeks. Any questions for me, Mr. Sokolovic?
Yeah, yeah, what, it's been a while since you emailed the state and you haven't gotten a response yet.
I haven't a response to acknowledge the receipt of it. So yeah.
Well, okay, rather than wait for them to affirmatively respond, could we schedule a meeting and then let them know the meeting is taking place on this day and they're invited to join?
Mhm.
Because if we wait for a affirmative response, we may never get it. Thank you.
Any other questions? Right, we'll move on to committee reports. The first committee, operations committee, met last Thursday, I'm sorry. And we discussed the budget for the 26-27 fiscal year. And that'll be on today's agenda. I know we discussed the school-based budget and the status quo budget. I know we had a lot of conversation about that. And today I know we'll be continuing that conversation. I'll take any referrals to the operations committee at this time. Seeing none, the next meeting is the first Wednesday of the month, which will be the 4th, March 4th. Instruction and Support Services Committee.
Instruction and Support Service Committee meeting is the fourth Wednesday, which would be the 25th. I have nothing new to report since our last meeting. I received some referrals at the last meeting and we'll continue to take referrals up until that meeting. I think I failed to mention at our last meeting, I did mention that we had an excellent report and discussion on adult ed. We also want to explore in future meetings AI and begin to explore the use of cell phones in schools, which are both social hot topics. So that's it.
Are there any referrals? Thank you.
I got
Your
yours.
your
I
next
got
meeting is
the 25th.
the 25th of February. All right, we're gonna go on to policy committee. I do not see Mr. Woodson online. I do know that the policy committee will meet this Wednesday. So we'll move on. We have some ad hoc committee reports. Mr. Traber.
The advocacy ad hoc committee met last Thursday for the first time. It was it was a rocky start, is what I can best say. Turnout wasn't what I had hoped in terms of public, community, parents, and students. That's really the areas. We had administration, we had a good showing from the BEA. We want to get more other staff. And so, but that's to be expected. We need to get out there more. The advocacy committee, we're trying something new. So I'm saying this here now. It is open to everyone. Members of the community, all members of the staff, students. We want to build a strong group of people to advocate for our students. Right now, last year we had trouble getting out this notion that the education cost sharing formula needed to be increased dramatically. This year, it's on everybody's lips up in Hartford. From New London to Danbury to Stamford to Hartford to New Haven, they're all talking about it. And there are multiple proposals popping up in the legislature from Republicans to Democrats about it. 3 weeks ago, were talking about trying to get one of our representatives in the legislature to introduce legislation, and then suddenly there's legislation up the wazoo. It's not all good, don't misunderstand. It's not all what we want. The basic understanding of what we want is we want legislation that says for 13 years, they have not increased the base rate of the education cost sharing formula. That formula is supposed to redistribute money to the poorer communities in the state, which are mostly urban, but there are some rural communities too, to help them afford a quality education for their students. That figure is $11,525 per student. It hasn't gone up in 13 years. During that time, the cost of living has increased over 41%. So if you took that number and increased it for Bridgeport, that would mean we would get $16,500 per student. Well, that would be about $94 million more for the Bridgeport school budget. Here we are talking about $44 million to break even. That would be an extra $50 million to spend on our students. So that's the underlying simplification of the argument. There are variations and other thoughts to it, but that's the basic. And so that's what we're fighting for in this legislature. It's a short session, which means there are 13 weeks from last Wednesday when the governor opened the session. The governor introduced his plans, his budget, when he spoke. His budget said that he would propose a blue ribbon panel by executive order to evaluate the ECS formula. Well, a blue ribbon panel is just fine, but if I could paraphrase an old saying from somewhere, we don't need no stinking blue ribbon panel. We need action now. That's what we need for our children. And so that's the push. We're working, as many of you know, with a group, statewide group called Connecticut for All. It's unions and community groups and churches. There will be a training session for public speaking on Wednesday night from 5:30 to 6:30 online that people can sign up for. We're trying to get that word out. If you need to know more, see me. We're sharing it as much as we can. We'll be getting that out. If you can't make that, because it's the beginning of the holiday, long weekend, we get it. But the public hearing on the governor's proposal is before the Appropriations Committee, Education Subcommittee next Tuesday at 3 o'clock. So they, like us, have these series of meetings on the governor's proposal, the Appropriations Committee, and that's next Tuesday. They'll be meeting with the State Department of Education, the Education Department, other departments on the variations of the governor's proposal during the day, and then at 3 o'clock, there's a public hearing. So we have to sign up the day before, and the holiday is Monday, President's Day, and many districts like ours have this extended weekend starting Thursday. So it's going to be a difficult time. We are going to have this training on Wednesday. There will be a link that we can give you for how to do testimony. I'm working with Giancarlo and the communications department to help with that. And we will have a team of people available as testimony helpers, multilingual testimony helpers, to help people. Testimony is essentially thank you, chairs. Here's my story. Thank you, chair. Thank you, chairs. Here's my position. Here's my story. Thank you, chairs. One page. It has to be submitted the day before, 24 hours before, and you can testify from the comfort of your home online, or you can go up to Hartford and testify. That's our first focus. And then there's going to be an awful lot of focused work over the short session is 13 weeks. So 13 weeks from last Wednesday. So it'll go till about the first week in May, second week in May, about the same time as the city budget is due. That'll be our focus for the next 3 months, basically, is to try and see if we can get the money we need to increase and improve what we have, the resources we have to improve the education for our students.
Thank you.
Did I cover everything?
Yes, I just want to acknowledge that Mr. Daniels has also joined the meeting online. Go ahead. Mr. Golovic.
Yeah, got it. It was a very productive meeting. I just would like to refer, today I watched a bit of the Education Committee. They did refer the draft language and it was approved to create draft language for the rest of the bill, because right now it was just a placeholder paragraph. And they're going to be voting on the draft language, but they did not include a number. It was approved unanimously to get the draft language. So I would like us to, by the next meeting, hopefully to have the draft language and we could pick it apart for the ECS increased foundation. So about when,
Okay, you're referring to multiple bills.
right, no, they,
Okay.
just a placeholder boilerplate, raise the ECS foundation amount and then draft the language around that. So I'm guessing they're gonna try to coalesce all those bills together, which range from no number to up to 18,000.
That's the Education Committee.
Correct.
This is not. This is the Appropriation Committee.
Right.
The subcommittee is Education, but in the Appropriation
Right.
Committee.
But that's
Okay.
the bill that's gonna be forwarded through, so that's something we gotta watch as well. So I would like to refer
Yes.
that bill to our committee for dissection before we decide about to get behind something and look for any poison pills that are included within the bill.
Yeah, we're gonna have to keep an eye on a whole bunch of things. So
Well, that one's
I don't
one on-
disagree.
Um,
I'm trying to, right now, we need to focus on the hearing next Tuesday and getting the testimony in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the next meeting date is on the 20-something.
We will be meeting, thank you. The next meeting date is scheduled for Tuesday, the 24th.
Thank you. The other ad hoc committee, which hasn't met yet, but I just want to announce who is on it. I failed to do that the last meeting. Mr. Benham will chair that committee on the facilities master plan, and Mr. Traber and Mrs. Kolovic will both be on it. Mr. Benham will come back next meeting with the date. The K report, Miss Esther Jimenez, have you received anything as a liaison? If not, I'll double check with Cabe.
No, I have not. They've sent a few emails about trainings for financial and budgeting that's taking place every month. One in January, one in February, and another one in March. That's primarily for newer board members. And then they've been sending policy highlights, one of which I referred to the policy committee as a referral, but that's all I've gotten so far.
Thank you. We'll move on. Yes, Mr. Traber.
Yeah, I didn't mention, I should have, and it's a question for Miss Esther Mara Jimenez. I do know, and I reported at our meeting on Thursday, that on Friday and today, there were meetings with the Connecticut Education Association, the American Federation of Teachers, the two teacher unions, and CABE, and CAPSIS, the Connecticut Association of Public School Superintendents, to discuss the various efforts to improve the ECS. So it would be important to try and not just wait for them to tell us, but to sort of, to the extent we can get a sense of what they're hearing, what they're doing on ECS.
Thank you. We'll move on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a couple things I want to kind of just emphasize. First of all, I want to kick it off by recognizing the Science for Appreciation. I know I have Portia Scott. I know Mr. Tito was there with them. They had a lot of the other support staff helping her, but I want to kind of make sure that I extend a great opportunity that the science fair was at the University of Bridgeport last week. Some of the highlights, we had 275 students participate, 45 judges representing a wide range of professions from across the state of Connecticut that volunteered their time. Had 43 students qualified for advancement to the state science fair competition at Quinnipiac University. And again, we had 15 teachers receive classroom funding from state science fair program as a result of their participation and selection of their students. I want to thank you again. So let's give them a round of applause. Portia did a lot of work trying to get all that worked out. So thank you very, very much for that. I had a chance to go myself to kind of see some of the work that the students have done, and just really listening and hearing them talk about their projects was amazing. Some of their thought process was a little bit different, so you had to kind of pull the questions out of them a little bit, but it worked out really well. So thank you, Portia, for engaging us on that. The other two items is really touching off of what Mr. Traber talked about. The Appropriations Committee public hearing is on Tuesday, February 17th. Again, it's very critical that we have the opportunity to collectively come together to advocate for dollars. And so we're trying to make this as easy as possible for our community members. I know I'm pushing my staff. We should be able to get testimony from every single principal in this district, every single central office administrator in this district, board members, and parents. Guys, we have to make sure our presence is known regarding, making sure that we can tap into these funding sources. And so whatever we got to do, we're going to do it for you to make it easier for you students. We want you guys to also have the ability to kind of advocate and write letters on behalf of the district and your fellow students as well. So we're going to set that up for you as well here. And we're going to go over a little bit of some things that I feel is going to be very important as we move this forward. The other thing that I want to emphasize is that we have a budget advocacy manual that we're going to be putting out. And in this advocacy manual, there is a variety of different things that are going to be very important to our community. Here is the table of contents of that particular manual. It just really kind of sets out exactly how and what's in the manual so that you can kind of see and not have to kind of second guess as to where you need to be. We also have an easy email QR code that we're going to be pushing out there. So if you see the QR code, you can take a picture of it. It goes directly into your email account, and all you have to do is address the letter on your behalf, and it'll be ready to go. It's that simple for you. And so it's the communications team will probably be changing this letter every couple of days due to the fact that sometimes when you get spam email, well, not spam email, but a lot of emails coming through your inbox, they can set up a what you call that, Tim? A rule to block those emails, to move them into another folder. So if you change it, we can kind of beat the system to where it's always having to do that every couple of days. So we have a strategy that the communications department is working on to really work through all of that as well. And overall, I think you will be really happy, and this will help support the advocacy movement across this district. Again, we want you to take full advantage of this opportunity. And if you need help, we're here to help you. The communications department, my office, someone will get in front of and get on a phone call with you to walk you through whatever you need. We need more, and this, tell your neighbors, tell your brothers and sisters, aunt and uncles, to get online to kind of help us promote and get these letters written out. Because the more we have, the more impact that is going to be for us. And so, principals, I'm encouraging you to have all your teachers write letters. again, all of my, I know on my cabinet, if they're not writing letters, they're going to be testifying live. So we're willing to be able to step up and do that as well. And sometimes the advocacy piece, especially when you're doing testimony, sometimes it goes late into the evening time before you're able to get a time. But it's still okay. You can still do it from the convenience of your home. And most of it is just an online testimony. It could be as long as short as you want it, but there is a timeline on it. So they will kind of rush you to get through your time, but that's okay. If you get a 2-minute, opportunity to say our kids need this funding, that's all you have to do. And so we want to encourage everyone to be able to do that. Again, Madam Chair, I'll take any questions if you have it.
Traber?
I just want to be clear that there are two kinds of advocacy that we're going to be providing you through this link. When Giancarlo and I looked at it on Friday afternoon with Miss Estramera Jimenez and a member of the community, what we had on there were letters for lobbying. And that certainly is one important thing. Writing to your elected rep and your elected state senator. When we met the other night, we talked with the leaders from the BEA. Many of their members, I'd say probably 2/3 of the members of the BEA live outside the district. And they can influence those elected officials in other cities and towns. So writing a letter to your elected official about why it's important. And then about Mr. Sakalovic just mentioned keeping an eye on certain bills. And that's what we'll have to do throughout this. And writing about that bill or a bill and what's going on with a bill throughout this process. So that's one aspect, is writing a letter to your elected person and saying, hey, I live in your district, I vote for you, and I want you to listen to me. That's important. Whether you call them or write them, that's important because they rely on your vote. So that was one form. Testifying is a different thing. You don't have to be in their district. There's a committee of people who are hearing and listening, and they take it into account. You write your testimony, whether you be there or not be there. It gets submitted the day before. The committee staff collate all that stuff into a big packet, and the conscientious members of the committee, and there are a lot of them, look at all those testimonies before they sit down to hear them. And those of us who have done this before will sit sometimes for 4 or 5 hours waiting our turn to testify. Though if we get some students to go up, we can frequently get those students, they'll allow us to let them cut the line because they recognize these youngsters got to go home and do their homework. So that's a possibility. But those of us sitting at home have often sat at home till 10 or 11 at night before we get our turn to testify. So that's a different thing. And that's a statement, which is really important. What you're trying to say is, here's why I care about these children and them getting the resources they need to testify. Whether it's I have a child in kindergarten and they need a para, or the library is really important to me, or art is really important, or theater, whatever your story is. That's really important. And you don't have to be the most eloquent person in the world to write about that. You're telling your story. That's what's most important. But I do also want to say that one of the things that I've learned is this group that I'm talking about, these education subcommittee of appropriations, when they come to deciding what they're going to put forward in appropriations, what matters to them the most is how many calls they got. How many people did they hear from? They meet to decide what they're going to push out of this education group. The question they ask is, how many people did they hear from? So how many calls can we generate to this group of people? And if they say, I didn't hear from anybody, it doesn't matter. There it goes. Not whether there's a righteous issue or not, just whether or not people were pushing it. And so that's going to be really important for us to monitor it, know when they're going to be sitting down to decide this, and generate the ability to generate calls. So all that stuff is going to matter. So we got to be a lean, mean fighting machine, and communications has got to be really on top of it with our lobbying group. So that was what I wanted to add.
Anyone else? Thank you, Dr. Avery. Moving on to new business. The first item is the approval of the Bridgeport Public Schools Debate League's trip to Boston, March 5th through 8th, 2026, to participate in the Boston Debate League's tournament at Boston Latin Academy. This is John Winthrop in the Discovery Magnet. Mr. Traver moves to approve this. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Benahan. Any further questions? I think Mr. Rapise might be online if we have questions. Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, they're going to Boston. The next item is the approval of the Interdistrict Magnet School, Discovery Magnet School's June 1st through 3rd, 2026 overnight field trip to outdoor classroom in Ironton, Connecticut. Is there a motion? Moved by Mr. Benahan and seconded by Mr. Traber. Any questions, debate? Mr. Traber? Your microphone.
For the sake of the people in this room, this was all presented to my committee a week and a half ago. So the reason we're being quick about this is any questions or discussion was had at the ISS committee at the end of January. So we're not being flippant or irresponsible. We're just trying to be efficient here. So
Any further questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The next one is the approval of the Interdistrict Discovery Magnet Schools May 13th through 15th, 2026 overnight field trip to Washington, D.C.
So move, Mr. Benahan.
Moved by Mr. Benahan,
second.
second by Mr. Traver. Go quicker, go quicker. All right. Any further questions on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Thank you, Mr. Ramos, for joining us. See him online. All right, next item is approval of the Luis Munoz Marin and John Winthrop's March 30th to April 1st, 2026 overnight field trip to the outdoor classroom in Ironton, Connecticut.
So move, Mr. Benahan.
Moved by Mr. Benahan, seconded by Mr. Traver. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Oh, I heard you said, okay. Alrighty, I think that's all the field trip.
Did anyone abstain to that
Nope.
one? Okay,
No,
excellent.
they're off.
Thank
Alrighty. Moving on, we have approval of goal book for special education IEP development and progress monitoring.
Good evening. I'm coming to you and thank you for the opportunity to request approval from the full board to purchase Gold Book using funds from the SEED grant. Gold Book is a platform that integrates goal development, instructional strategies, and progress monitoring for our students with disabilities. And the current request, I know in the committee meeting, there was a question about the amount. So what you have in your packet is an updated quote that includes the spring access during the summer and for next school year.
Any questions?
$2,008, $2,008,250. 200,000, I'm sorry.
All right.
Yes, 208,250.
Mr. Sokolovic, put your hand up. Is there a motion? Anyone else?
It is on page 5.
I'll make the motion, guys. I'm gonna move to approve Go Book, Special Education, IEP Development and Progress Monitoring.
IEP development.
Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Benahan.
Okay, you had a question for it? Okay. Uh-huh. Is that today's printout? Is that printout from today? Okay. It's page 5.
It will cover, effective as soon as we sign the contract through June 30th, 2027. So it would be for this spring. It would allow teachers to have access during the summer as well as, next school year.
So from now through the next fiscal year.
Yes.
And do we have it currently now? Or this is
So-
going to expand our,
We do not currently have this program, but we did do a demo and teachers have actually, our last professional development day provided professional development with this instrument.
and there were 30 teachers, if I recall.
So on the demo, the day of the demo, there were 39 teachers and also speech language pathologists were included. We've also completed a demo and professional development with our district supervisors and directors of social work and speech language pathology and school psychology as well.
Madam Chair. I would just like to add, one of the special ed compliance issues that we have in the district is really driven by the development of the IEPs and how we monitor those IEPs. And so when Michelle and I looked at some of the concerns that were brought up by state complaints, a lot of it revolves around that. So one of the things that we thought about is how do we develop the skill set of the individuals that are developing those IEPs? And so this tool will be able to have a little bit more flexibility in substance in the development of those IEPs. So I think that's really something that we feel as we looked at the seed grant application and how we enhance our special education workforce. This is one of the ways to be able to do that. So we're hoping to see some really good return on the investment with the help of this IP development tool and the monitoring side of it.
Progress monitoring, absolutely.
Other questions? All in favor, say aye. Yeah. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Ayes have it.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Finley.
Thank you.
The next item is the approval of the high school replacement statistics books and lab license. Your microphone. It's been moved by Mr. Traber. Is there a second?
Hello,
Second, Mr. Benham. Go ahead, miss.
this item is for $56,592.79. It's a textbook replacement, teacher edition, and a 6-year My Math Lab license for high school statistics. These are books that we already use that we're just replacing those that have been torn up, for lack of a better word, yes.
Thank you. There's been a motion and a second. Any questions? Okay. Any further questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, Ms. Hughes.
Item G, H, and I, these are multilingual learner resources. Oh, by the way, the statistics books were part of the Alliance grant. They were included and approved as part of that grant. The item G is for the Cengage K-8 ESL resource. This is for our students who work with pull-out resource staff. They include consumables, digital access, teacher editions as well. It's for a term for 1 year. You have in your packets 3 invoices of $92,216, $91,701, $119,963 for a total $303,880. This money was, these books were included in the Title III and the state bilingual grants approved by the state.
Is there a motion for item G, approval of the Cengage
Oh,
K-12
motion to-
ESL resource?
Motion to approve item G. Yeah, the Cengage K-12 ESL resource.
There's a second. Mr. Benny seconds it. Mr. Sakalovic has to make a motion to go first.
Yeah, quick question. How heavily is it weighted towards online resources?
It's hard copy consumables as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm out of,
The kids will all have hard copies for the work that they're going to do, but there also is online access.
yeah, the reason I'm asking is because we're going to be moving away from computers if we lack funds to have the computers. So I'm just wondering if there will be if we're not a one-to-one district and we're sharing computers everywhere, if we're relying heavily on computerized programs.
This is
and they don't have that access. It's just something I want to keep in mind as we go
Absolutely.
forward. So
This is hard copy.
most is
Hard copy, and primarily the teachers would use it, but the teachers also have teacher editions and planners and all that good.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Next item, approval of the Cengage Lift High School curricular resource. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Sakalovic. Second, Mr. Medina. Finally, we got it. Any further questions on that one? All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Last item, approval of the Learning A to Z renewal, Title III. Is there a motion? Moved by Mr. Medina, seconded by Mr. Benahan. Any further questions? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, Ms. Hughes. All right, so now we're going to go into discussion and possible action on the proposed fiscal year 26-27 budget. This item was discussed in committee last week, and the board wanted to see further numbers, I think, from Dr. Avery's team.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think for the audience, I think one of the things that the board was wanting us to do after my presentation last week is to go back and look at some of the things that the district cut over the last 10 to 12 years, all the way back from 2013, in order for them to consider bringing some of the things that were cut back into play in this budget proposal. And so one of the things that myself and staff has done is really went back and looked at some of the positions that were originally on provided by the district, and then over the period of time was cut by the district for whatever reasons, lack of funding, just a variety of different other ways. But what we have done for the board this evening is under separate cover. You guys should have received this document. We finished, pretty late this afternoon, but I wanted to make sure that we put it in the portal for you to kind of see some of the things that like instructional coaches. The district used to have instructional coaches at every single campus in the district back in a few years back. So we brought those things back into play with a cost factor to it as well. We talked a little bit about technology. If we're going to refresh technology, what is that going to look like? What is that going to cost? Librarians, STEM teachers, homeschool and attendance, specialists, interventionists, in-school suspension, monitors at every single campus, BCBAs. We had after-school programs, before-school programs, just a variety of different things that, due to funding limitations, we, as a district, eliminated the positions. And so, again, under separate cover, we added another $40 million to play for considerations for the board to consider. Again, it was just more of you wanted to see some of the data sources and some of the positions that were cut. And so we put a dollar amount to them. Some of them, we also put a status, if it was a need or was it cut. Or was it an addition, then it was cut. So we put that information for the board as well to consider. And so I'll open it up for any additional clarifying questions that are needed.
Mr. Sakalik.
The data you gave is great. I think we should start discussing the numbers. So I'll start off by making a motion to approve a budget of request of additional budget request, of $102,205,783. And if I get a second, I could explain in a moment where I got that number from.
Mr. Medina, second that.
Where I got that number from is Dr. Avery gave us this paper with all the positions. This is just positions we've lost. This is not including a lot of the programming we've cut. So if we make up for all the programming, we have to increase for more than that. But where I got the number from is added. Mr. Unquo had given us a piece of paper with an additional $477,000. I don't believe that has been included in this just yet, or has it? It has not. So that accounts for the increased cost of the
Seymour's pension increase.
Right.
The state pension board.
Right. And just for clarity, since in 2016 to 17, we cut 130 positions. 17 to 18, 60 positions. 18 to 19, 41 positions. 19 to 20, 12 positions. These were clerical, security guards, paraprofessionals. We still haven't gotten all of them back yet. Resource officers, literacy coaches, math coaches, a whole plethora of things that these are not luxuries. This is something other districts have. And this is not including the positions we cut just recently in the last round of cuts. We've had extensive cuts in the last 2 years. We have a district that has currently no librarians. This is not a crazy request. They're going to look at us like, oh, they'll never get $102 million. But if we don't ask for what we deserve, we will never get it. Our children deserve more than the status quo. Our children deserve to get every single thing back that they lost for $102 million. Let us not be the one to under-ask what our children deserve, because if we don't ask for it, we can't say they didn't give it to us. We ask for it, they cut it down. And this is basically the city request, which we can amend later going forward. If the state, God bless them, gives us $100 million, we can reduce our request to the city to $2 million to make it up. But I don't want to not ask for it.
To clarify, you're saying this is your city request?
Well, this is what we're proposing, the operating budget. This is going into the, what you call it, the city budget portal.
Ms. Estamara Jimenez?
Yeah, I had a quick clarifying question. So out of all these in this Excel sheet, I just wanted, there was an $8 million from the feedback that we got from principals. And I wanted to make sure that we weren't double counting, roles.
Madam Chair?
Yeah.
We're not double counting. Actually, what Mr. Sokolovic, part of the 61 million is, it was that $8 million is included into that, Ms. Jimenez. But there's an additional $40 million with the request at the top of that spreadsheet. And that's kind of what he's adding, in addition to the $400,000 that was just given to him, to the board by Mr. Niquo. Hope that
Very good.
clarified.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Mr. Traber?
Okay, so these are not all staff positions. Contrary to what Mr. Sokolovic just said, there are non-staff on this list. Technology is not staff, is it? Okay. The second item on the list, Mr. Sokolovic, is not staff. You made the motion before we could ask questions about it. So having made the motion, I would like to, pardon me?
Yeah, the motion was for a number. That's not gonna change the number any.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I understood what it was about before I acted on it. And so I wanted to be clear. The technology would be, I'm guessing, laptops and things like that.
To refresh up everything, teacher laptop, student laptop, and then having some contingency for
Computers and things like that, yeah, okay. And then when we say, I see in your explanation, rather than going back to 2013 for positions that were cut, we looked at resources in place and district needs to complete the additional request list. Some of these items were previously cut while others were not. So are homeschool coordinators on here? Homeschool and attendance are homeschool coordinators? And that's all they are? That's all that is? I'm asking, those 39 positions are homeschool coordinators? Okay, you just used a different term, so I wanted to make sure I understood what it was.
Oh, pause. You have to pass the mic down. Yeah.
We thought that combining the homeschool with the attendance monitoring would be a better use of the funds.
Okay. And the interventionists, I'm sorry, the additional instructional coaches, 61. Are we putting in some schools more than one? And not to be corrected by Mr. Carafa again, is this literacy and numeracy?
Correct.
Did I get it right, Mr. Carafa? Thank you, sir. So would that be one in every school of each?
Initially, we put in the 8 million, that's in the 61.6 million, we included 19 coaches. This is the additional we would need in order to have one ELA and one math coach in every school in the district.
So when it says 61 up here, it's 61 plus 19.
19, correct.
Plus 19.
But we didn't
So-
want to double count.
No, I listen, I just had a lot of these little questions and we jumped. I want to make sure I understand what we're voting on before. So it's 19, that would be 80 new coaches. Okay, so but every school is going to have one of each? So the bigger schools are going to be understaffed and the smaller schools are going to be overstaffed.
We'll work out the details.
Okay, And the librarians, that's one librarian per school,
Correct.
okay? STEM teachers, can you explain that to me?
We have a grant with the Wallach Foundation for the STEM centers, STEM labs in every school.
Yep.
And we want to have teachers that can be dedicated full-time to teach it, or to use the labs.
Okay. Interventionists, 120.
Yes, we figured 3 to 4 depending on the size of the school, the number would vary, but for every school to have interventionists.
And can you elaborate on that?
We looked at an intervent per school, a K2, K2, 3, 5, and a 6, 8 at the elementary. And then different.
These social interventionists?
No, these are academic interventionists. Tier 3 academic interventionists.
How does that differ from a coach?
Coaches coach teachers. They support principals and teachers, whereas an interventionist does small group instruction with children.
So this is, I don't mean to be simple, but this is a tutor? This is somebody that's working directly with the student?
They'll work with the general ed teacher who will direct them in what the students need.
Would that be with a group of students too?
Small group, yes. We'd be maximizing their efficiency by banding them by grade band.
And so when I see psychologists, counselors, I don't see any social workers here. Are we not increasing social workers?
We included social workers in the 8 million.
Okay, and no more. Okay.
In addition to the seed grant as well, we've added some social workers in that as well. So
how many social workers was that? I just off the top of my head, because I don't have it right in front of me.
yeah, in the seed grant, we have what? Three to seed grant, and then there's
2 more in
additional-
the 8 million.
Yeah, in the 8 million as well.
So for
2 more in the 8 million?
So there was an additional 5.
And 5 new social workers, you think's enough?
Based on our discussion with the
Director.
department.
The 20 school psychologists?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
The 20 school psychologists. Sorry, I'm having trouble going across. Yeah, 20 school psychologists? Is that what
Yes,
I'm seeing?
those were in addition to what we already have.
And where would they be placed?
Across schools based on need.
The ISS, we're returning to the ISS.
Currently, I think we only have 9. Yes. We have 9 ISS, and so some schools will only have somebody for 1 day a week as opposed to full
So
time.
this would be allowing us to return to the model we had a couple of years ago,
Correct.
where we had somebody who knew how to run an ISS room?
In every school.
The 10 counselors? Just
That's-
filling were we adding counselors in the other?
We did. We added counselors in the 8 million based on our work with the principals. And then we went back and reconvened and looked at what would we need to
So what were we adding in the 8 million? I apologize, I don't have it. could pull it
I
out.
believe it's 3. I believe it's 3, but I could check on that for you. It was in the other category with the 18. In the 18, there were some notes below on that. 5 counselors in the 8 million.
Yeah, I'm just getting it out. I'll see it. Yeah, no. Specialists?
I think at the bottom. That's at the bottom.
Oh, you've added footnotes. I'm looking at the original, sorry. Under the other positions, there's 5 counselors. So it's 5 plus 10 now?
Correct.
What's BCBA?
Those are behavior therapists that work with our students. They go between schools on an as-needed basis.
The before school programs, we run those?
Some schools have it who have, like our commissioner network schools. Roosevelt has a before school program that they use with their SIG funds. And it really is very valuable to the community for parents who have to get to work before 9 o'clock. They can drop the
I'm not
kids.
questioning that. I just was sort of thinking that before school programs used to be run by Lighthouse.
No.
No, and before,
Some.
Some schools have it.
right, PJ?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm not nuts. So now we're running before school programs?
But we would like to give everyone
We
the
don't have enough to be able to kind of receive kids early morning. So this will give an opportunity for campuses to have that before school activities in order to make sure that we can receive the kids earlier so the parents can get to work sooner. So that's all that is.
I know how it works. I'm just, and so now we're going to be bearing the burden of these programs.
You talk about, things that we cut and things that we want to bring back is really what we're trying to.
No, it's not a matter of we cut and bring back. I just want to point out that over the years, we had a huge fight, and Mr. Sokolov may have been around at the time at Johnson School when we were talking about cutting Lighthouse. We're charging Lighthouse a lot more money. Very volatile issue. Very volatile issue. Huge. People screaming, people shouting. Because we wanted to charge Lighthouse more rent.
This is, we're
Remembering.
proposing our teachers.
No, I understand, but this is, because after school and before school programs were offered in our facilities and we weren't charging much. And we wanted to increase the amount we were charging because we were laying off our staff and our programs. And those programs weren't increasing the amount we charged to use them. I remember sitting in my classroom and they would use my classroom after school for tutoring. And I'd sit in there trying to get work done while somebody was had out of control students running around my classroom. So it was a point of contention because mine was a first floor classroom. So it was, it was often and so it seems that we've sort of acquired these programs as our responsibility fiscally, is what you're telling me. And right. And I know that it's been over the years an issue where at one point the board did find another provider and then it blew up. So now it's just sort of, okay, we're gonna do a before school program at $800,000 expense. So I'm just pointing this out. Human resources, 5 new positions. I get that. Content, what are the human resource positions for? I'm sorry.
We looked at comparable districts.
Unclear.
For instance, Hartford has 13 full-time human resource positions in central office. We have currently 3. So these would be to support staff members. We have almost 3,000 staff members to give them support and just take care of their, needs throughout the year. They would be support level positions.
Content directors,
Social studies and the arts.
I'll be damned. Social studies director again?
Well, we tried to do a humanities director and that didn't work with the union, so our wish list is to get a full-time social studies director.
IT, is that additional staff for you, PJ? After school, this 200 after school positions?
200 after school was an estimate that we did across all the schools with a $1,500 stipend for the contract.
And is this Lighthouse?
No,
What is it?
it would be different clubs. Many of our
Okay.
schools already through
No,
the school
that's right,
improvement
I'm good.
grants.
What's executive director?
It would be replacing the third executive director that was let go last year.
Data management? Your department? Yep. Finance?
Actually, I don't have a secretary, administrative assistant, so, sorry. We only have two or three people in the finance department doing all the work. Compared to other cities, Hartford has about 10 employees in the finance department.
Okay, I have no further questions, Madam Chair.
Mr. Clough?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand when the board votes, who am I requesting the 100 million from, the state or the city?
Conley, where's your motion?
Yes. We are asking for you to request that the city put in their, what's that portal called?
The Munis.
Into Munis, a number reflecting $102,205,783 increase to the budget.
Okay.
Subject to revision further down the road, if we do not need as much, we will revise our request lower. Does that make sense?
If I understand it, currently the general fund budget on the city side is $245 million. So if I put 102 million, we're going up to 300 and something $million in total.
Correct. Add to last year's escalated.
No, I
escalate the cost by.
I wanted to make sure I'm representing or requesting what the board is going to vote on. That just clarification. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Banahan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dr. Avery, I know the last time we talked about the paraprofessional and the homeschool coordinator, but I have a question and nobody asked for that, but I don't know what it can be. Custodians. Really, yeah, we need custodians in the room. Sometimes one custodian is doing the job of 3 or 4 people at the same time. And my respect for all the custodians, but really we need to think about it, I don't know how, but yeah, just put it, bring it to the table because it's very important to get custodians because, you see what's going on this morning. And, sometimes custodian has to stop what they're doing to run to another school because it's emergency. The other thing is about security cameras. That's another thing that we know there's some cameras, they're not working very well. I just put it for you. I'm not saying go, say yes. But we need that because sometimes it's sad that let's see just one camera is like more than $100,000. And we know that. And take forever to fix it, to be done, to be sure. This is very important because we need to be sure our kids, safety. But everything's important. But one part of the custodian is very important because I know it's not easy what these old gentlemen, they do, the team, Mr. Garcia, and I'll be witness. And, we all know that. So I just want to put it for you. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
And just for clarity, I mean, Mr. Garcia was probably has a number, but I don't know if he got the number to us before we were getting here. But then he's been talking a little bit about making sure that our maintenance staff, custodial staff, are well taken care of, and making sure that we don't have to kind of overstretch them to get the work done. So we'll gladly bring that back through, George, to make sure that we have. Yeah, it was a whirlwind, trying to get the schools open and all that, so it just didn't get to us.
Mr. Traber?
Yeah, I actually would like to ask Mr. Nakwo the question he asked Mr. Sakalovic. How do we figure that out? I know last week when we discussed that February 7th was the deadline, and we gotten a 2-day extension, and we would sit down tonight and come up with the budget, and we were going to put in other items that we thought were necessary. And we discussed what those would be as we went forward to do battle for more resources for our students with the state and with the city. And I don't know how we decide what we ask of the city and what we ask of the state. Frankly, I don't know how. So we've got a budget that says, okay, we need 44 million more to break even.
That's correct.
And then we want to ask for an increase of 68 million more in improvements. Now, how do we apportion what part of that comes from the city and what part of that comes from the state, sir? And I don't know the answer to that. So you tell me. We say, okay, we're going to ask the city for 20 million of that and the state for 48 million of that. Is there some rhyme or reason to deciding that?
Through Madam Chair, that's why I was trying to get a clarification as to what am I requesting from the city. I mean, from what I understand, Sakalovic is indicated, request the whole additional $102 million from the city, with hopes that you help me out, Mr. Sakalovic. I mean,
Mr. Sakalovic?
Yes, thank you. Well, to be clear, when the state, correct me if I misspeak at all, feel free to jump in.
no.
When the city does its budget,
Yes.
included in their budget is the state alliance grants. They count that in their budget, and the state alliance and the ECS. It's counted in the city budget as a pass through.
That is correct.
Then they pass that money through to us.
Yes.
So when that money passes through, if $40 million extra passes through the Alliance ECS, and we want them to deliver us $122 million, their portion that they would have to add would be $80 million. Same if they have $100 million from the state, then their portion to pass through would be $22 million. Because it's all encompassed in that one single budget.
Yes.
Did I adequately?
Yes. If I may, Madam Chair, it's only applicable if the state is changing the ECS formula. If they're not changing the ECF formula, they can equally give you extra money through alliance money, which does not come as a pass-through through the city. It's a matter of where you hedge it, where you put the money. I mean, you can make a statement by putting $102 million in the city budget. I mean, I'm going to be very honest with everyone. The city is just going to reverse it because they cannot afford $102 million. So they're just going to give you what they want to give you, or be it 4 million, be it 5 million, be it 10 million. That's all they're going to recommend. So the rest will just be ignored.
And to be honest, sir, so you're asking a rhetorical question because we've done that dance.
That's correct.
For many, many, many years.
That is correct.
Yeah.
The board
So I now understand between the two of you that we're gonna submit a budget that's got $102 million
addition
in additional requests.
Yes.
And that presumes that we're gonna get 100 million from the state and we only need 2 million from the city. Or, actually using the number, I'll use my number.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get 94 million from the state.
Right.
The cost of living adjustment, and we will need 8 million from the city.
Okay.
That's what it presumes.
Yeah.
Just,
I got it.
okay.
Okay.
So the cost of living would be 94 million. We need 8 million more from the city.
Okay.
And so that's what we're presuming. Now, Mr. Sakalovic uses a slightly higher number that would actually get 101 million from the state, and we would only need 1 million from the city.
That is,
But it would be nice if the city gave us 5 million, and then we could buy even more for the students.
that's correct.
Like, other enhancements to their education. But that's the dance that we do. And in the end, if we are low in our projections for what we would like, and we get extra money from the city and the state, well, who benefits? The students. Oh my gosh.
Through Madam Chair, if I may make a suggestion.
Heaven forbid.
If I may make a suggestion, Madam Chair, it's probably, in my opinion, it's probably more ideal to use a round number. If you're asking 102 million, we ask. If we're asking for 103 million, we ask for $103 million even, instead of counting 102, $350,000. I mean,
What would you recommend, Mr. Nicole?
the closest number that the board wants, 102, 103, whatever, just make it a round number is what I'm saying. 102 million, $103 million, even number.
Motion to amend
So
the budget.
everybody will remember the number.
Motion to amend the budget increase to $103 million.
An amendment was made by Mr. Sakalovic, second by Mr. Medina. Sorry. Forgot your name for a minute. Any further discussion? It's
Just
based on the.
she's checking her sensory perception.
Yes, it's hard out here. So current debate is on the amended motion. And then we'll go back to the main motion. Any further? On the amended motion for 103? Okay, that makes sense.
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you very much. I did have my hand raised, but it was a lot of going on. Under after school, I know most of these numbers on the first numbers, those are positions as far as the numbers, so 61, 39, 38. I see at 200 here. Is that considered hours, or what is that? Or is that 200 people?
Yeah, those would be teachers across the district.
Okay, those that work like a thing. Okay,
Hours or stipend.
gotcha. Like I was like 200. I said, whoa. Okay, so those numbers represent individuals. Same thing with the school program. It says before school program, the 84, that's the same thing.
They're paid hourly based on the contract.
Okay.
So 42 an hour, hour and a half a day for 7.5 hours for the week.
Oh,
Point of information, Mr. Traber.
$200 be like the chess club or some other club after school?
no, I got you. I just wonder if the number 200 is were their positions, what was it? Because I know some of them have different clarification. And I definitely had the same question that Mr. Benahim had, because I don't see anything in here. I know we cut some positions for buildings and facilities, and I didn't see anything in here about that department, and it, draw some concern to me because again, they're the ones that we depend on for certain things, a lot of things in the district and with our buildings, and I know they're running on a skeleton crew. So I didn't see anything. So I know you mentioned something already, so I appreciate
George
that.
just gave me a number. That's 3.2 million.
So 3.2 encompasses staffing along with increases due to service contracts for the work we've done over the years with ESSER and grant funding. So it's backing up the investments we made over time.
So, with that information, Mr. Sarakadovic, go ahead. Oh, I just would like to make an amendment to the motion to add that dollar amount, and since we're working on round numbers, to make the budget for 105 million, just to make sure that
106.
want to go up. Thank you very much. We'll make that motion to 106, representing that. I want everyone to understand that's listening, we are looking at, Mr. Traber mentioned that 41%. The governor in his speech specifically
mentioned that while he's been in office, every single person has gotten an increase, meaning a raise, but yet our students have not gotten anything in over 13 years in this ECS formula, and cost of living has gone up. So I know Mr. Traver mentioned that 41%, that was, if we get that 41%, it will equal what cost of living went up throughout those years that we haven't had any increase to this ECS formula. So I want everyone to understand this represents here, this list and this ask is going back to 2013, representing those things that we as a district had to get rid of, had to push, that our students had to do with less and less every single year. And we would like to put back in place everything that they deserve and they need to be able to reach their God-given potential. And understand, our kids deserve this. They've been robbed and they have not been invested for so many years that they deserve this. That way we can get a nice investment, a return on our investment, because our students are our best. They're going to be taking over our city. They're going to be working, going to college. They're going to be investing back into it. So this is the investment that we want our governor and our elected officials to represent us. And that's why I'm seconding this motion and adding this motion, because we deserve this. This was what it's been lacking throughout these 13 years. Thank you.
Okay, can we clean up the motions a little bit? Can we?
Was it seconded?
Yes, I think I think you seconded it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just withdraw it. And
Yeah, want to withdraw my First Amendment to 100, what was it, 102, to 103? You gotta withdraw the second.
And just for clarification, I will withdraw my motion, my second
Second.
motion.
So now the only
the
amendment.
amendment on the
is one
table is
Mr. Medina made.
Mr. Medina's amendment for 106 million increase.
Ready to vote?
No, I have the same concern as Mr. Traber, about the after school and before school programs. That seems like, or maybe not the after school, but the before school programs seems like at Lighthouse. Like it should be for Lighthouse, not for the district to pick up. Because they staff that, or in the past they've staffed it. So I just,
It's based on their grant award as well. So sometimes they will deplete it.
thank you.
It just depends.
Did you hear that? Did you hear it? No. Oh, put your microphone on. Say that again.
I don't know what I said.
It's based on like a grant, you said?
Sorry?
You said it's based on a grant?
Yeah, with Lighthouse is they get a grant awarded to the, I think it's the 21st Century Grant Program. I think it's from the feds. I think there's a federal one and there's a state one. So based on the number of funds that they get, they would be able to fund a certain amount of after school programs across the district. So I know this past year it was a very competitive grant. So they had more people accessing those dollars, but they did get awarded, but I think they got awarded right about the same amount from last year. So each year is different. So they may have to, if they lose funding, they may have to reduce the number of after school programs across the district. So we wanted to make sure that we all know that kids need some type of after school program to be able to do that. So I think they put the number in there for us to pay staff to do that if we need to extend the after school programs. That was a reason for that, before and after.
Mr. Sokolovic?
No, Mr. Traber.
Mr. Traber?
Yeah, and so what I'm getting at is that I've been here long enough as a parent to remember when Lighthouse was, I don't know, 10 schools and getting lectured by people that it's not a daycare program. And telling the person that lectured me, well, it may not be for you, but for the rest of us, it is. Because we had kids, and this conflict has gone on, and the domain has expanded. The empire has expanded. And then I know Mr. Sakalovic, in his position on the board, saw the wars. But as a teacher, then I saw the wars that I mentioned, where the board wanted to charge Lighthouse more for expenses, custodial expenses, toilet paper, paper towels, things like that, that were incurred as a result of the use of the facilities, cleaning expenses, all that stuff. And, you know, wanting to charge more. And there were wars with the city about that because it was perceived as a city sub-agency, if you will. So it's been a long-standing thing, and I believe Mr. Sakalovic was on the board when they found a competitor that was a better product, if you will. And then that created a whole conflict that I did not participate in. I was not a part of at the time. So there's been an ongoing thing, and the preschool program began to be offered. And all of this meant that at some point they started charging money pro rata, depending on the family and how much you could afford. And so after school, preschool, that, you know, they went around and started charging when I was teaching. You know, if you were going to bring your kid in early, you had to pay a certain amount. And so it's been an evolving process. I get it. And I understand why it's important, because I, as a parent, thought it was important to be able to pick my child up later. Not just because of the tutoring and the after-school activities and the value of those, but because there was somebody who watching my child while I was working. I get that. So all of that is valuable. And the drop-off, I get that too. So I'm not opposed to any of that, and I'm not opposed to the importance of all of that. But when it got sort of foisted over onto our budget, it has taken away over the years from our ability to offer educate, you know, to do our primary mission, if you will. And that's what I'm hearing tonight, is it's continuing to, you know, take away from our abilities to do our primary mission.
Yeah, I definitely agree with everything Mr. Traver just said. And yourself. However, regardless of who is administering the after-school programs via Lighthouse, they're paying. It's not in every school. This request could go to adding additional programming, adding additional Carver Foundation, Yale University, who is the last provider, into our remaining schools and provide wraparound services for our children through these newly instituted programs. So I really strongly suggest keeping it in here. I mean, I would really want to shoot for the stars and even ask for 200-300 million. Yeah, I guess, but we got to settle on a number. And I do want to revisit Lighthouse paying their fair share and rentals and all that when the time comes. But I definitely hear your concerns, and I'm ready for that battle as well.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I don't, I only raise it as a matter of a question that occurred to me and that I felt last year as we did the budget. And why weren't we looking at cutting or saving money in that area? And so it's coming up now. It is valuable. It is not, I'm not questioning. I'm not proposing. I'm simply asking questions at this point. It's, you know, we didn't discuss it at all last year.
Sure.
In the budget cuts and the process and everything else. And it's a shame that we're at this point, but at some point when we have the resources, hopefully we can evaluate what's best for the children, what's best for the schools. And visit that question in a healthy manner, not the unhealthy manner of where we make cuts and don't make cuts, versus what's best for the children and what's the best way to do it.
Any further questions? I do want to acknowledge, I'm sorry, Mr. Woodson did join the call a lot earlier. I didn't take him on attendance yet, but he's on the call. So right now we have an amended motion for 106 million in additional funding for the fiscal year 26-27 school year budget. Seeing no further questions, we'll take a vote on the amended motion. So this is not the final vote yet. This is just on the motion to increase the budget to 106 million. So all in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Lamont Daniels opposed.
I'm opposing it. Any abstentions?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we got you, Ms. Daniels.
Okay.
The amended motion passes. The main motion is still on the floor to adopt the budget. Is there any other questions or debate? Ms. Nickwell?
If you ask me, the board is not adopting the district budget, FY 26-27 budget today. What the board is adopting is a requested budget to the city, additional $106 million as a placeholder, if you want to put it that way.
In addition to that, Madam Chair?
Yes.
I'm trying to understand and making sure that I think everybody out there understands what's going to happen. The board is going to request an expansion of the amount that we're going to be asking for. We all know that by the end of the school year, we cannot adopt a deficit budget. So if we don't get these funds, we have to come back and propose a budget that we could manage and adopt prior to that. So, but there's a long time coming between now and then. So that's why we're doing what we're doing right now. As we do our advocacy, as we look at what the city's going to give us, as we look at what the state's going to give us, then we would have to come back as a board to figure out exactly what we can pass as a adopted budget. So I just want to make sure that everybody's clear on that, because we're asking for a lot. That's over 35% increase in the ask. I don't know exactly what 106 was because my number changed a little bit. So what would that be, Nestor? 30, I think it's 35%, something like that. I'm not a mathematician, so.
It's about 35. It's a little over 35%.
It's going to be over 35%. But again, that's okay, because we can always come back and amend that number, just like you said, Joe. I just want to make sure that everybody was clear on that.
Mr. Traber?
Well, if 94 million is 41%,
okay,
then it's more than that.
That's the inflation.
About 45%.
Mr. Sakalovic?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Avery, for bringing that up, because that's a very important point. This does not finish it. However, we don't got to wait. We shouldn't be waiting for the final numbers to start planning contingencies. We could plan contingencies now based on a certain amount of shortfalls. We could estimate what happens if we're $20 million short, what happens if we're $40 million short, what happens if we're $60 million short, and start drawing up scenarios around various numbers. Those are just numbers I just threw out there right now. Maybe Mr. Unquo could come up with some better estimates and more realistic things. So we need to be ready to go. We don't need to be having these conversations last minute when it's coming down to June, July, and getting ready to start the next school year, if that makes sense.
I think I like this exercise that we did in terms of seeing where we'd be if we hadn't have to make cuts. 106 million worth of staffing and programming. However, I also think if we want to be a little more realistic, they're going to take this and laugh at us. They're like, we're not going to give you that. If we had the budget of Hartford, this is what we would have. And so I just, in my opinion, I just think, yes, this is what we need if we had what Hartford had. However, if we take the school-based budget, and I would say even making it 65 to put some contingency in there, I think it's more realistic. I know that delegation, when I spoke to them, they were behind going for the 65. So that's my opinion. Obviously, we're gonna take a vote on this tonight. But that doesn't mean that I don't think we should have this list of staffing. Like, we definitely should have librarians, counselors, and the whole list, office staff, human resources. That number's, there's a difference of 10 from the Harvard schools to ours. But I don't know, I just want to be a little more realistic in what we're asking. Obviously, this is what we want. This is what we need. No, I agree with that. This is what we need, but I think if we had the exercise of the principals and staff come up with a school-based budget. I don't think 20.9% is a wild number compared to what I see other districts asking for in the teens. 35% increase, or if Mr. Traver's math is right, 40%. It seems, I won't use that word, but I'm thinking it. Anyways, so that's my opinion. But obviously we're gonna take a vote on it. I don't know if anybody else had any comments. Mr. Benahan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dr. Avery, I really understand about your opinion just now, you just said. But you think our kids deserve that extra money?
Madam Chair, absolutely.
Okay. Why am I asking this? Because the state have to know, and they know. Let's put it this, they know, everybody know. Our city is the more big one. They know what we're doing and what you're doing and your team they're doing. They know exactly that we need this money for better future for our kids. Okay, you can give a sample. We have staff here still here, we stay here, your cabinet is here because we care, because they want the best for our children, Of course, you say, extra money, this, or less money, the percent and stuff like that. But it's not money in the world that can say it's for kids. And they have to understand that we need as a little more money is because our kids deserve it. And that's what we're here for be sure our kids, have a better future. And they can be proud for Bridgeport. And also, we have to say thank you to all the staff, they stay here. They know what we're going through. And I take it on behalf of all staff from Bridgeport Public School. They say I'm here because I care, because I want the best for our children. They want the best for everyone, for our parents. And they can leave, and we all know that. I know a lot of staff, they call them, they say, I can make you more, 10 or 15, 20 more, grant. They say, no, I'm staying in Bridgeport because I want the best. And I have to respect that. And I know that sometimes they say, oh, what Bridgeport is doing, but they know what we're doing. They know what we want. And they have to understand this is for our children's, Like I say, I take it on behalf of all the staff. They stay here because they want the best. We got staff, they got so many years. They got staff, they want to come back and say, be working with, with us. But for me, 106 is nothing that what our kids deserve more. Because, it's the best for the future of the kids. I know it's not going to be easy. It's a process, and, and I know you're working hard with your team. But we have to stay together because, as always I say, together we can make the difference. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mr. Traber?
Yeah, I caution us against bargaining against ourselves, against reality. This isn't good enough for me. And let me tell you, when I get asked, if you had all the money you wanted, what would you do? Well, the first words out of my mouth are smaller class sizes. It's not in here. It's not in here. No, it's not in here. And the second words out of my mouth are academic and social intervention. That's in here. I like, that's in here, and a lot of other good things are in here. But the smaller class sizes are not. Look at the schools in Bridgeport. The state mandated school has 15 students in a class. That's the school. We have this beautiful school on the hill, Discovery, with 15 students in a class, and everybody wants their kids in Discovery. because it's got 15 students in a class. That's the state mandated school. Our interdistrict magnet school with 15 students in a class. That's what should be every school in Bridgeport. We're not doing that with this budget. And I remember Antonio Felipe saying in the newspaper years ago, and he and I talked about it up in Hartford. I just want the children of Bridgeport to have what I just saw, and he was down one of the Gold Coast districts in that district. Well, that is what we want. And we won't get there with $106 million. But we take a big step to getting there. And if we continue to get that kind of money, then we can take further steps to get ourselves there. So we're being bold. And it's, you can argue, unrealistic, but we're making a statement at a time where everybody's talking about what hasn't been done. We're pointing out what we could do if you had done what you should have done. Taking a step towards what it should be. That's what we're doing. An unrealistic step, maybe, but a right step, a justifiable step, a righteous step. And so that's what we're doing. And when they say, oh God, you're never going to get that. Well, we should. Our children deserve it. They should have gotten it a long time ago. And you could add up, any of us can do that math. It's not complicated. That if we'd gotten the cost of living steps each and every step of the last 13 years, oh Lord, that would be a lot of money. So we need to go forward feeling that what we're doing is righteous, and it is.
Sorry. Seeing no further questions, we'll take our vote on
Roll
this.
call, please.
It's going to be a roll call vote, Ms. Esther Mara Jimenez.
Very good. So the motion is discussion and possible action on the proposed fiscal year 26-27 budget of $106 million. I'm sorry. Subject to revision depending.
Take your time. Mr. Nicole, wow.
Board member, for a minute, for clarification, the proposal on the table or the motion on the table is the board is requesting additional $106 million increase in their operating budget for fiscal year 26-27.
Yeah, that was how it was amended.
That's how it was, yes.
So that's how the motion stands as Mr.
Did you hear that, Ms. Sister Mary Jimenez?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm currently struggling here. I just made the edit. Do you want me to reread it?
Yes, please.
When you're able to.
Yes, sorry.
It's fine, I'm in the same way.
Discussion and possible action on the proposed fiscal year 26-27 budget of $106 million increase in our operating budget.
Yes.
So first up, we have Mr. Grajales, Benahan Grajales.
Pass.
Okay. Mr. Woodson,
Yes.
Ms. Perez,
No.
Mr. Sokolovic,
Absolutely, yes.
Ms. Burks Jennings.
I abstain.
Okay. Mr. Daniels,
No.
I vote yes. Mr. Draper,
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Draper.
Mr. Medina.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries.
Mr.
Back to Mr.
Goffman.
Benahan.
Ms. Benahan.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep doing that. Mr. Benahan Grajales.
Yes.
Okay.
That motion carries. We do need to add one item to the budget, to the agenda.
I would like to make a motion to add the adoption of the nutrition center budget for the fiscal year 26-27 to the agenda.
Is there a second? Okay, second by Mr. Traver. This was brought to us at the last meeting. So, just so you guys know, we just have to adopt it. So, seeing no further questions, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That passes as well. The last item is a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Wait,
Moved by-
point of order. I
Yes, go ahead.
think we moved a little too fast. I wasn't clear. Did we vote on the budget or we just voted to add it to the agenda?
We have to vote on it, guys. My bad. Sorry. Let's vote on the budget now. Okay, it's added to the agenda. So is there a motion to approve the fiscal year 26-27 nutrition center budget?
Motion to approve the fiscal year 26-27 nutrition budget.
Second
As
by
presented.
Mr. Traber. Motion was made by Mr. Skolavik. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That passes. Now I will take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to
So
adjourn.
move.
Moved by Mr. Medina. Second by Mr. Benahan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
B.
Any opposed? All right, meeting
God bless
adjourned
you
at
all.
8:32. Thank you.
Good night.